early repayment scheme was very damaging in general to the banking sector. You have seen the results of banks that were published over the last weeks, and a number of banks actually needed reinforcement of their capital. For K&H, also the effects were quite substantial. We have published that as a result of early repayment, that cost to us was about 51 billion foreign, but we were still proud to be able to close the year at a profit. The second part, what is important, that afterwards we started negotiations with the government on what we call the minutes of understanding. And under that agreement, which was reached mid-December, the banking sector actually made substantial concessions towards the government, but also help was extended towards the customers in the banking sector. Those programs are now being implemented. An important part of that is a substantial debt forgiveness on part of the banks for those clients who have been delinquent as a result of economic reasons. And that system starts to work quite well. And then we will have the mechanism with the overflow account, where also the banking sector is taking a very substantial amount of charges on it to be able to address the reality of stressed borrowers and give actually more time to those borrowers to repay their loans. What is very important is that there is predictability and stability. When people make their business plans, you have to know 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when you look at longer term investments, what will the economic environment look like, what will the tax environment look like. And that stability is going to be very important to restore the confidence not only in of the banks in being active in the lending market, but even more of the borrowers to be able to engage in longer term plans and longer term investments. As K&H, we have market shares of around 10%. That is important for us that we have those market shares. We have always been very careful in underwriting, in credit underwriting. And that's why we are also proud to say that over the last years our relative credit costs were the lowest in the industry. We are a very liquid bank. We have a loan-to-deposit ratio of around 80%. We are a well-capitalized bank, and we want to further grow our business by providing credits. But again, we will provide credits to those businesses with good business plans, with good cash flows and good capital positions, and to those retail customers that have indeed the income to repay the loans. The reality is that the volume of loans at banks have been decreasing, and there is international studies, not only the sentiment of the central bank, that as a result of additional measures that are in the pipeline, for instance the financial transaction tax or levy, that will further help or contribute, unfortunately, to a credit crunch. The reality is that, first of all, the capital situation of a lot of companies is not at the level where it should be. We have heard before that one of the issues is the lack of savings in the market and the capital position of companies. That's one side. The second side is also that the returns on what banking industry brings in Hungary will not be sufficient for a number of banks to further increase their capital. So in that sense, indeed, we will have to be very careful that we are not perpetuating the credit crunch which already started to happen, and that as a result of measures and predictability we can go towards some growth and a growth strategy again.